15. Welcome to week 15 of Books Being Sick. I am Nick. Happy to have you here. Got some stuff to talk to you about today. Let me go through it real fast. I've got a bit of an agenda. I'm trying to be as organized as possible because I did have another coffee this morning. So, we'll see what happens. My chair's sinking as I'm talking here. This chair is doing that thing where it's got the pressurized pole part of it is kind of breaking, I guess, or whatever. So anytime I'm sitting here, I kind of just sink. I feel like, do I seem smaller? Maybe I'll just leave it like this. That's kind of nice. So we're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about books that I didn't like because I feel like, I come onto YouTube and Instagram and TikTok all the time and I'm like, this book is amazing. This book is amazing. This book is amazing. This book is amazing. So I'm going to share with you some books that I actually didn't like because I feel like that might give some legitimacy to my reviews so that I'm not always just like, this is amazing. So we're going to do that. I've also got some book pickups, some really fun book pickups that I'm excited to share with you. It's been a really, really nice week of book pickups, I got to say. A lot of variety. And just kind of like some life stuff, just going to like share some life stuff, what's going on. Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you want to start with? I think we'll start with the books that I didn't like, because that's probably what most people are interested in. Again, if you do follow me on Instagram or the Talk of the Tick, you've probably already seen this, but let's go through it. Let's go through it real quick. We're going to start with the bottom one here. What is this? Oh, this is the Folio Society magazine thing that they send out with all like the Folio Society books. This is really fun to look through. There's actually some good stuff in here. I think I looked through this the other day. There it is. Look, they got these Stephen King releases there. They got The Shining, Pet Sematary, and Misery. Those all look so cool. Imagine having just so much money. That'd be so fun. I want that. Okay. Just so I can buy books. That meme where it's like, if I ever win the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs. If this wall suddenly becomes all bookshelves, maybe. Okay, so the first one that I didn't really care for was The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. This is sucky because I love Stephen King. He's my favorite author. But there was just something about this book that I found very repetitive and honestly kind of boring. And I didn't really care for... I didn't feel any of the tension. I didn't feel any of the scariness that was supposed to be going on. There's this thing kind of following her around the woods as she's lost in the woods that... just wasn't working for me. I found the ending very anticlimactic. It just kind of ends, and it's it just was not my favorite. Not my favorite. Again, it's not a very long read. You could probably get through that in a weekend for sure, but wasn't for me. That being said, I do think if you've got some young readers in your life, this would be a totally fine one for them to start within the Stephen King world. I'm basing this kind of off of having read 20 other Stephen King books that just absolutely blew my mind. This one didn't blow my mind, but again, for someone just jumping into Stephen King for the first time, it might be totally fine. Moving on, we've got another one that I was really excited for because I thought it was going to be really scary, and that is The Troop by Nick Cutter. A lot of people recommended this one to me, and I was real excited to jump into it. And I got about halfway through. I gave it a real fair shot, I'd like to say, and gave up. I found the story really uninteresting, and all this scary stuff was kind of just gore, and I never really find gore scary. It's not that I'm not a fan of gore and all that. Like, it can be fun, but it's not scary to me, and I feel like that was the entirety, like the whole... Anything in this book that was trying to be scary was just like, ugh, isn't that gross? And it just wasn't working for me. I didn't really like the characters, and I just didn't really care. Just didn't really care for any of it, so I gave up on that one. I am excited to jump into some other Nick Cutter books, though, because I did like his writing, and I'm sure that he's got some killer stuff in there. And a lot of people like that book, so, it's probably just me. So, The Clown in a Cornfield is one of the first books I read when I started this reading adventure. So, I picked up Clown in a Cornfield, too. Now, this might very well be because I've read so many incredible books since reading Clown in a Cornfield and this one. And I really like just dumb fun books. I like dumb fun movies. I love all that stuff. I was just having a pretty hard time getting into this one, so I gave up on it pretty early on. I got about 7-8 chapters in, and it just wasn't doing for me. Could be an issue where I just had a bunch of amazing books lined up after this one, and I just wanted to get to them. But anyway, the most surprising one on this list is probably this one. This is a book that I put off for a very, very long time because I knew I was going to love it. I even bought this very special 10th anniversary edition because I was so convinced that I was going to love this book, which seems very, very silly. I totally understand that. And that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Now, this is a book that I could not wait to start, and I really, like, I gave the troop a fair shot. I got about 500 pages into this, you know, maybe over three quarters of the way through, and I gave up. I DNF'd it that far into the book. I found Kavoth, the main character, just very, very irritating. I didn't like him at all. I didn't like the story. I don't know. He was too angsty for me, maybe. I'm not really sure what the problem was, but was having a real hard time latching onto these characters and the story, and so I just wasn't having a good time, so I gave up on it. I'll probably try and give this away because it feels like someone who really cares. A lot of people love Name of the Wind, so they should have this. I might try and do like a giveaway for that at some point. Real quickly, I won't talk about this one too much because I didn't read a lot of it. That is The Quiet Tenant. I was real excited for this one because I love scary books, and the premise for this one sounded really, really great and really, really scary, and it just was not what I was expecting. Didn't really care for it at all. I didn't get too far into it, but I DNF'd it pretty early on. My wife read it, and she didn't really care for it either, so gave up on that one as well. This one is this is my clickbait book, so probably the title, like the cover photo for this YouTube video, is going to be me like, let's see, maybe that. Total clickbait, okay? Because I only read a few chapters of this, and I know people love this book, and I want to love this book. I'm kind of bummed that I'm having a hard time getting into it. I want to be one of those people that's like, this is just fun. This is what this should be, and you know. Maybe I probably got to give it a fair try. I probably got to get a little farther into it. I can only ever get a few chapters in, and I'm like, ugh, you know, I just don't care. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? But I might give this one a third try. But Fourth Wing for me is I'm having my struggles with it. I don't care for it so far. And you know what the problem is? I'm hearing so many people say that Iron Flame is kind of bad. You know, not everybody, but I'm hearing from a lot of people that love Fourth Wing that really think Iron Flame is pretty awful. So that's given me a pause on it too, because I don't want to read that and then just have it kind of, you know. Anyway, so those are some books that I didn't like. Would love to hear your thoughts on that, and would love to hear, you know, maybe some books, some popular books that you didn't like. You know, why not? Now let's get into some book pickups here. This is always my favorite part because I just love talking about books that I got. So Michael Kist over on socials there is a real cool, good guy, and he's going to be going like full bar book videos now, which is really exciting for his audience, for me. He reads primarily history and nonfiction books. I've mentioned him a whole bunch of times on here, but I just really like him, and I really like his stuff, and think he's kind of unique. So this one was a recommendation over from him. This is called Born to be Hanged. This is a pirate book. I cannot wait to dive into this one. I actually can't. Did I mention this in my last one? I don't think I did. The Rise and Fall of Dinosaurs. This is the new history of their lost world. This is about dinosaurs, obviously, and I cannot wait to read this one. So those two books I got recommended from his page. I think dinosaurs are just really fun, and this is a kind of a whole tale of their 200 million year long journey, which I think is really, really cool. So can't wait to jump into this one, honestly. And my kids think it's really cool. They saw this sitting on my desk yesterday, and they were like, whoa, what's that one? Are there pictures? There aren't. Actually, there are a few. Gabor Mate is a author that I keep hearing about recently. He keeps kind of popping up in my life. People recommending his books to me, friends that are reading his books. I don't read a lot of these books. I don't know if this would be classified as like self-help or science or whatever, but I don't read those books ever. In fact, I don't think I really ever have. I'm excited for this one though, because I just hear nothing but amazing things about him. I picked up this one called When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. This is probably going to be a pretty painful read. I read a little bit of it, like I kind of did a little flip through and read little pieces and bits and bobs. And yeah, you know, the back here is, can a person literally die of loneliness? Is there a connection between the ability to express emotions and Alzheimer's disease? Pretty interesting stuff. I'm excited to kind of dive into my first book like that, you know what I mean? And yeah, I kind of looked up Gabor Mate on the internet, and he seems like a good guy. I don't know. The Book Thief. This is a really popular one. Everybody seems to know The Book Thief. A lot of people have read this one. And I don't really know what this is about, but I finally grabbed it. I look at it every time I go to the bookstore, and I finally grabbed it. This is a book that is narrated by death itself. And I think that's really all I need to know to be excited for this book, honestly. That alone is just like, okay. I think somewhere... Oh, right on the back here. When death has a story to tell, you listen. Okay. Where do I sign? Really excited for The Book Thief. I went live the other day. I don't go live a lot anymore, but I did the other day, and people were asking me if I've ever read Haruki Murakami, and I have not. I hadn't even really heard of that person. And so I asked them, like, which book should I go after? I'm going to go to the bookstore tomorrow morning. And a lot of people were saying IQ 84 or Kafka on the Shore. I ended up picking up IQ 84 because I really didn't like the cover of Kafka on the Shore. It was like really glossy and it just looked bad. So I'm going to try and find a cooler copy of that one. But I thought the IQ 84 was pretty sweet. However, didn't realize how insanely long this book is, and the margins are tiny. This is up there with It and The Stand in terms of length. I believe the audiobook is about 46, 47 hours. Really, really long book, which I did not anticipate. However, it sounds really cool. I'm excited to check it out for sure. Okay, where are we here? I got one more here. John Krakauer, Where Men Find Gloria. I love John Krakauer. I found this one used. This is the story of Pat Tillman. I only know the Coles Notes of Pat Tillman's story. And even the Coles Notes are pretty fascinating. So I'm interested to learn more about him. And John Krakauer is just one of my favorite authors. So I'm sure that's going to be a good read. So those are some book pickups. I'm currently reading The Road, which I don't think... I don't have my copy of The Road here. About 120 pages into The Road, and am loving that book. I read a lot at night. Like once the day is over, hit the couch and pull the book out. My wife watches stuff or reads with me, you know. But last night I took out The Road, and then she put on The Hills. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Hills. This is like a kind of reality show from back in my day, and that show is so addicting and so good. I love that. I love The Hills. I love the city. You know what I mean? I'm into it. So I was having a really hard time reading The Road, like this dystopian horror show, while The Hills was going on. So I ended up just watching The Hills. But The Road has been fantastic. The writing is just bananas. It is very interesting how descriptive and vivid and beautiful the descriptions of just what they're going through are. Like, it's a father and son kind of going through this burnt out United States of America. We don't know why. And the dialogue mixed with that beautiful description is very plain and very 1, 2, 3 word sentences. It's just very stale. And the contrast of it is very, very interesting. I'm really, really liking that book a lot. Cormac's writing is living up to the hype. It really is fantastic. So The Road has been really, really great. Also reading this nonfiction book, of the Nan King Massacre by Iris Chang. This is totally devastating. I am horrified reading this book. I knew a little bit about the Nan King Massacre, but not enough. And I would. It's a really, really hard read, but I would encourage people to give it a try and to learn about it, because I can't really even go into too much detail about it. It is absolutely horrifying and fascinating. Yeah, that was another Michael Kist recommendation. So lots of books over from him. Appreciate that from him. What else do I have going on? I don't know. I need a new bookshelf. I did mention if I win the lottery, this wall turns into bookshelves. That means maybe I hit. But I am running out of space back here, so I gotta put. I'm gonna put like a little bookshelf right here. Maybe move some photos around and move some stuff over there and some stuff in here, because my desk is now kind of piling up with books, and it's just getting a little much. And it's like, well, maybe I could just get rid of some. No. I'm not going to do that. Took the kids to go see Godzilla X Kong at the theaters a few days ago. That movie was ridiculous and very fun. So if you're looking to shut your brain off and just watch like King Kong and Godzilla team up and kind of fight another gorilla and dinosaur, then you'll love it. You know, it's the kids were having the best time of their life. And I don't know if you know this, they're huge Kiss fans. My kids love Kiss. And there was a moment in the movie where I Was Made for Loving You comes on, and they lost their minds. It's already one of my favorite core memories as being in the theater when that kiss sound came on. They lost their mind. It was the best. It was the best. I also wanted to mention to you a trailer. I love movie trailers and I love horror movies a lot. There is this one that I saw that just has really stood out, stands out more than any other horror movie trailer that I've seen in the past year or two. It's called Cuckoo. I'll maybe link it down below for you, but just YouTube Cuckoo. Let me know what you think. I am so excited for that. It looks absolutely nuts. And that's really all I've got for you today. I just wanted to quickly thank the most recent Patreoners. We'll go through that fast. Patreon has been so fun. When I went live the other day, it was supposed to be just for Patreon only, but I couldn't figure out, it wasn't working. Like they didn't have audio, so I had to hold up this sign that was like, no audio, meet me over on Instagram. And so that's what we did, but I figured it out. So that'll work in the future. But I do just want to quickly thank the new Patreoners. We got Blake, we got Franchely Porterreal. That's a cool name. Brandon Larkin, Angie Todd, Matt, Karen Condrick, Andrea Marie, Jan, Zach F, Jordan C, JMO, John Bradford, Luis Villa Rosello, Brian Gallagher, Morgan Johnson, Chelsea, Keegan Van Niekirk, where are we? Heather Davidson, Stephen Arnell, KC, Jenna, Peter, Steve Smith, Sophia Momo, Brian Nava, Marcus West, Mondi, Adrian Johnson, Cynthia Carroll, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Just the letter J. That's what I want. Cindy Carroll, Millie's Crafty Corner, Tyler Hendricks, Nancy Hannenberg, Andrea, Jake Gelfand, Christina Mailspinney, Den, Books with Den, Shane Boyd, Ashley Brethold, Jennifer Cassidy, Jenny, Christopher Murdoch, and Francesca Kelly. Thank you guys so much. It's been a real good time over there. Oh, you know what I got to mention to you guys? I don't think I mentioned this last time, but we made a decision on the Patreon to have a series that we're going to read along with our main book each month. So our main book this month for the Sick Book Club is The Road, but we've decided to read the Dark Tower together. So we're also reading The Gunslinger this month as well. And then so next month we'll have another main book, probably The Secret History and Drawing of the Three, which is book 2 in the Dark Tower series. The series part is kind of totally optional. It's all totally optional. But, we're still going to have our main book each month. But just for fun, because a lot of people get through the main books really fast, we're also going to have a series to follow as well. And we picked the Dark Tower for the first one, which I am so excited about. I love the Dark Tower. I've only read 3 books, but I'm going to reread them. And the other 2 series that were pretty close were Dune and The Wheel of Time. So one of those 2 will probably win the next vote whenever we finish the Dark Tower, which I think will be October. So fun stuff. Anyway, so that has been week 15 of Books Being Sick. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Bye.